Most people don't realize they paid extra for a name until the gun starts feeling normal. Same drills, same range, same results. Nothing special. That legend label, gone the second reality hits. That's the problem. Some pistols are expensive because of hype. Others are expensive because they've survived long enough to earn it. I didn't trust that at all. Especially with the older ones and the ones with price tags that make no sense on paper. I expected them to fall apart the moment I pushed them hard. A few didn't. And that's where it got frustrating. Because I wasn't trying to prove them right. I was trying to replace them. Newer guns, cheaper options, better specs. Didn't matter. They kept showing up. So this is the line. Which legendary pistols actually deserve their price today? And which ones are just riding reputation? Not nostalgia, not hype, just what held up when it should have been replaced. Last month, I pulled into a pawn shop off a 2-lane stretch outside Lubbock, wedged between a tire shop and a half-dead laundromat. Not a place you go looking for anything special. I already had a Beretta 92 FS at home. That's why this bothered me. Guy I trust runs that counter. He's seen everything. Called me that morning. Steve, one came in. You'll want to see it. There it was. 92 FS. Worn edges, big grip, heavy. That old safety still arguing with modern guns. And then I saw the price. For a used one, he didn't blink. That's not a used price. That's a knows what it is price. That stuck. Because I'd already tried to replace mine. Cold range, numb hands. Running it next to a newer striker I wanted to switch to. Lighter, faster, on paper. Halfway through, that newer gun choked on cheap ammo. The 92 FS didn't. Just kept cycling like it had nothing to prove. Guy a few lanes over watched it, gave that quiet nod. Like he'd seen it happen for years. That's when outdated stopped meaning anything. This thing earned its place by outlasting the guns that were supposed to replace it. I went back 2 days later. Gone because someone else knew exactly what they were paying for. Mine's still big, still heavy. Safety still annoys me. But every time something else gives me a reason to doubt it, the Beretta doesn't. And I still don't like that. That thing still costs that much for that brick? He said it like it was obvious. I didn't argue. HK USP 9mm in my hand. Felt exactly like he meant it. Thick, blocky, controls that don't care if they fight you. Nothing about it feels modern. Nothing about it feels worth that kind of money. And this one, it wasn't even taken care of. Dry. Grit in the rails. Mag that didn't want a seat clean unless you smacked it. It already felt like a bad idea. I came back up off a sloppy reload. Grip not fully set. Gun slightly off angle. That's where it should have choked. Most guns do. This one didn't. It just kept cycling. Same dull mechanical rhythm. Like it didn't even register what I did wrong. I tried to force it after that. Rushed it. Got careless on purpose. Nothing. Guy next to me glanced over once. Barely reacted. Like this wasn't new to him. That's when it clicked. This thing doesn't care if you're on your game. It was built for when you're not. That's why it's still around. Not because people love it, because it keeps working when conditions aren't clean, controlled, or fair. And that's what you're paying for. Not performance, not comfort. The moment everything gets a little off and it doesn't follow. I don't even like shooting it, but I trust it more than some pistols I actually enjoy. And what came after this felt better in the hand. Just didn't feel like that. I was at the range with a friend who's been chasing speed for the last year. He'd been talking all morning about speed. Not loud, just certain. Lighter guns, faster splits, less weight to fight. I didn't argue. Just watched him run it. Fast, but messy. Little corrections stacking up. Forcing the gun back on target every shot like he was chasing it. He caught me watching. That's when he picked up the CZ75 SP01, not to try it, to prove it wouldn't matter. First few shots, he drove it the same way. Tried to outrun it. It didn't follow. The weight didn't snap back like the others. Didn't reward that rhythm. It just sat there, waiting for him to catch up. So he slowed down. Not on purpose. Just enough to stay on it. And everything tightened up. Less movement, less noise, no extra correction. Same shooter, different result. He didn't say anything after. Just stood there a second too long. The cheaper guns let him feel fast all day. This one showed him he wasn't. It doesn't make you feel fast. It makes you realize how sloppy fast can be. You're not paying for convenience with this gun. You're paying for control that doesn't let you cheat your way through a bad habit. And once you see that, it's hard to go back. Around New Year, I was at a kitchen table helping a guy thin out a safe. Gun rugs laid out. Boxes stacked nearby. That quiet moment where someone starts deciding what stays and what doesn't. He wasn't sentimental. Guns with real history, real use. He moved past them without slowing down. Then the Staccato XC came up, and I figured that was easy. Expensive one goes first. Free up cash, keep the practical stuff. I said it out loud. He didn't answer. Just left his hand on the case, a second too long. That didn't fit because he'd already let go of guns that actually meant something. This one didn't have that. No story, no attachment, nothing to defend, and still, it didn't move. That's where the price stopped sounding like the whole argument. Some guns keep you busy, tweaking, upgrading, explaining why they're almost there. This one doesn't ask for any of that because every time he treated it like overpriced hype, the gun answered back. Control, speed, no excuses. It just sits there. And those arguments stop working. I still don't like the price. It feels like too much gun for normal life. But watching him clear out everything else and pause right there, that's not something you get to explain away. You just see it. And once you see it, pretending everything else is the same starts to feel off. And the last one? That one doesn't sit quiet like this. It proves it in a way you can't ignore. Middle of July, I walked into a small shop after a humid weekend, and 3 pistols were sitting on the counter like somebody had already lost the argument. One had a fancy trigger. One had an optic setup that cost more than it should have. One looked almost new, which usually means someone bought the idea, not the gun. I nodded at them. Bad day for internet favorites? The guy behind the counter gave a short laugh, then pointed lower in the case. Glock 19 Gen 5. Just sitting there. Funny thing, he said. Half the guys trading this stuff in end up staring at that before they leave. That annoyed me. Because I didn't want that to be the answer, so I went the other way. Tried better guns, smarter setups, stuff that felt right when you bought it. Then the costs started stacking. Trade losses, parts swaps. Another case, another, this might be it. And somehow, that Glock kept showing up again. Not better, not worse, just still there. Same plain trigger, same dead feeling grip. Nothing about it trying to win you over, that's the problem. It doesn't convince you, it just outlasts your decisions. The Glock 19 didn't become legendary because people loved it. It became legendary because people kept trying to replace it and ran out of reasons to keep doing that. And the part I still don't like saying, you don't choose it. You just stop avoiding it. The M&P compact doesn't carry the same weight as the 5 above it. That's the point. It's not an old icon, not an overbuilt tank, not a steel frame control piece, not a premium race gun, not the Glock you keep ending up back at. It doesn't try to be any of that. It just sits right in the middle. Modern enough, light enough, capable enough, no weird edges you have to work around, no personality you have to justify. It doesn't pull you in, but it doesn't push you away either. And that matters more than people admit, because most guns on this list come with something attached. History, expectations, trade-offs, or a price that makes you think twice. This one doesn't. It solves enough problems that you don't feel like you made a mistake, doesn't ask you to upgrade it, doesn't force you to defend it, doesn't turn into a project. It also doesn't stick with you. You won't talk about it the same way, won't build a story around it, won't feel like you arrived at anything, but you also won't regret it. And that's the trade. You know, you're not paying for legend here. You're paying to avoid regret. And for most buyers, that's probably where they should land. So now you've seen what actually earns that legendary label and what doesn't even make the cut. A lot of guns work. A lot of them shoot fine. But that's not the same as staying. The ones that stay are the ones that make you stop looking. And that's where the price starts to make sense. I've swapped out cheaper guns without thinking twice. Some of these I tried and ended up right back where I started, and one of them still bothers me. I wanted to call it overpriced. I expected to. But every time I pushed it, it held up. Now you know which ones earn that reputation and still justify it. So, I'll ask you, what's a gun you tried to replace but couldn't? I'm Steve. What stays is what you pay for.